That ball's so good. Such a good compliment too to the Extreme Envy, because when that becomes lazy, I can literally stand in the same spot and throw that ball and get the same motion I'm looking for. This Extreme Envy and this Envy Tour complement each other, even though the differential and the numbers are different. But as far as motion wise, because that ball corners a little bit more than I thought it was going to, I know I can go to this, be in the same spot, get through the front part of the lane, and still know it's going to recover. Even got some miss room with it, but I mean, that's what you're looking for, right? We all can't be Norm Duke. So
Norm Duke would beg to differ that they can't all be Matt Jones.
Yeah, I wish. Be saying that now, we got some issues. But no, this ball is allowing me to miss left. I mean, there's a puddle in the middle too, and it's still getting through the puddle. That should tell you right there. It's a good ball motion. It gives you the down lane motion that you're probably looking for once you can't throw your bigger ASIMs anymore. And even though this is ASIM, it's still low diff. So the house that Matt Jones built.
Yeah, well, no, I was gonna say, you used to bowl league here.
I bowl league here most of the time. Anytime I practice, I do my practicing here for sure. That's what happens when you get into the spot too. But overall, you see the motion of it. Still pretty strong motion off the spot. It's not sideways, but it's very round. But it's a strong round. So we'll compare it to the Quantum Evo Response, which I imagine the Evo Response is going to be a little harder off the spot, but it won't be as rounded. Slower. So because that Evo Response is lower diff, even though it's a little slower coming off the spot, but it still continues off that spot pretty hard, where that Quantum Evo Response higher diff, higher intermediate diff, so it's going to try to roll up a little earlier and still come off the spot hard, but it's not going to be as rounded. So it's going to look like that's slowing down, but in reality it's probably just too big, trying to come off the spot too quick, and it's just going forward. You can see the difference. The higher diff is making it come off the spot harder and be a little more forward, where the lower diff on the other one is not as hard off the spot, but it's more continuous. Just not get around that corner like the Evo or the Envy Tour. So you can see a good comparison with that. I mean, you know, that one's a little slower, a little more forward. Probably bigger core, which it is. It's a bigger core, so. There it is. That was better.
All right, Matt, your final thoughts on this Envy Tour Pearl.
So the Envy Tour Pearl is definitely one of those balls that's like a game 3, 4, 5 on patterns, game 3 on league. Depending on your league, if your fronts are pretty blown out at the start, then it's a good league ball as well. I think in comparison to other pearls, like you see me throw with the Quantum, two completely different shapes, which is nice. So you can have two big ASIM pearls in your bag and that do two completely different things, which is nice. I'm going to rate this ball fire as well compared with the Extreme Envy, because I think those two complement each other, to where if I'm throwing the Extreme Envy and it gets lazy, I go straight to that Envy Tour Pearl and have no issues.
So this would be a nice 2-ball purchase for somebody.
Absolutely. And on top of that, you get like a free hoodie if you buy one. Like, how could you beat that deal?
Yeah, you just got to go. We'll throw a link into the description.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Both the videos to let people take a look and pick out their hoodie.
And then if you guys have any questions, you guys feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, whatever. I have no problem answering questions, especially when it comes to the Hammer brand, because I'm very familiar with that. But yeah, definitely check out the Hammer website. Definitely check out Virtue Bowling to get your stuff drilled over there and get that free hoodie, man.
Boom. Do you think this one hooks like as a top tier pearl, like just on the higher end of the hook rating?
For sure, but reading the hook front to back, not side to side.
Sure. And do you think it was surprising the amount?
Yes, very much so. Not really sure what that hit.
You threw this at a tournament. How did it turn out for you there? And what was the, I guess, what was the pattern like there? That, you know?
So it was definitely tough. It was Lake Forest, California. It's a center I'd never been to before. I took the ball with me. It just seemed like everything outside of 10 hooked off the lane. So I pretty much started in 5th arrow. I ended up shooting 690 with one missed makeable, and I had 3 big splits. But it's really hard to trick any ball to get through the pins from that far left.
It's more hand manipulation and all that other jazz.
Yeah, let's just face it, I'm not that good.
So if you were to say this ball reminds you of some previous piece, you know, what would that be?
I would say that it is a smoother version of like a Columbia top speed, just not so quick off the spot. It reads a little bit earlier, but being a pearl cover, it's still fairly clean. It's trying really hard to bite in the mid lane.
Yeah, that hooked a lot.
I did bring a Columbia Madness with me today. I thought they were going to be a really close comparison. So let's see what it does.
Is the Madness supposed to hook less or more?
So I would say that the Columbia Madness would be a lot cleaner through the front part of the lane and a little bit more angle down lane. It's a little bit more forward for me. But we're going to throw it at the same spots and see what happens. Okay, so NV Tour Pearl versus Columbia Madness, no comparison.
Tour Pearl hooks way more.
It is 6 feet sooner, creates great shape, and still goes through the pins a lot harder.
All right, Rich, and your final thoughts on the NV Tour Pearl?
NV Tour Pearl definitely made its way into my bag. I think the ball is fire. It's a very controllable piece from front to back. Allows you to open up the lane. I would say that this is going to be a ball for more of your benchmark style shape. It's not going to go sideways down lane. It's not going to hook too early. It's just going to be something that's super controllable for most people. And then your higher average guys, you're really going to look at a piece like this when you're bowling on patterns, when you want to control the lane. This piece is just going to blow you away.
Little inside, it held. So you can see how clean the ball gets, and it still wants to make a turn even with as much as inside the carry downs I got. It still went through the pins. So give you a little bit of forgiveness. Let's go ahead and send it outside and see how much it recovers from there.
And this is asymmetric, right?
It is asymmetric. It's very low intermediate asymmetric though. So it's very close to a symmetric core. So you can see I got out to the friction a little more, and it does recover a lot. So when you do get later in your blocks, this is definitely a good ball to get, because you can just go get inside the oil, get it out there, not worried about it just kind of hanging and not getting back on you. And if you do happen to pull inside over the carry down, because I'm sure if you're bowling a lot of tournaments, you're going to see a lot of carry down, because that's what happens. So
were you able to use this at the regional last week?
I did not bring this ball with me last week. There were still 2 brand new in my bag that I didn't really know just yet what they would do. So I brought stuff that I was able to, you know, trust and know what's going to be comparable to each other. We'll move a little bit left, open up the angles to the front, try to catch that friction where it was. Not quite as high as last shot. You can see why I like this ball. The back end motion is great. It does go through the pins really well. I'm just going a little high flush, so I got to get it to go a little bit lighter in the pocket to go kick out that 4, no problem. All right, so again, I'm going to move in a little bit more, get it to go a little bit lighter in the pocket so it can not be a high 4 pin. And key is, like I said, watch the ball go through the deck, through the pins and where it exits. Ideally, right between the 8 and the 9. And of course, as I say, it's like I slightly missed on that one though, so that's probably why. One more good shot with it. Show you what it does to the back end.
Listen, I'll take a strike any day.
Hey, they say it's not about how, but how many, right?
That's right.
Maybe I moved too far in. It's not getting around anymore. It's getting to the pocket, but it's real light, kind of flat off the back. Let's go back to the line I played for the 4 pin, just to pick up the speed slightly. Knocking them over. There. You can see I was further right with the hybrid, the GB4. Picks up a little bit earlier, rolls out, you know, smoother all around transition. Now it's sharp off the break point. So, but for what we have out there, I'll take what I was getting. the light carries with the Pearl. It's gonna be fine.
All right, Fitz, your final thoughts on this NV Tour Pearl?
NV Tour Pearl's good. I really like it. I'm gonna have to grade it A-. It's not one of the best I've ever thrown, but it's definitely up there what I've seen so far. I'm sure over time will tell as far as whether or not it stays in the bag for like full time or if it's more of a, you know, house shot type thing where I know I can get inside and just kind of wheel it and it's going to come back no problem. But later in the blocks and tournaments, I feel it's a good option. So he'll probably go with me this next weekend for sure to that regional, and I'll let you know.
Hey, good luck, man.
Thank you.